Dear explorers, this is an invitation from the city of Antontis, the lighthouse of the Lagrange Network. Here at the Dawn Celebration, we welcome each and every one of you. Let's look back at the past and join hands in making the future. Before we start, please check out the first welcome gift from the Dawn Event Association. Now, let's pass through the Lagrange Gate and set sail for the city of Antontis. During the warp drive, we will also look back on the historical moments we have witnessed together during our journey. Since the signing of the Dawn Accord, countless pioneers have entered unknown galaxies for the first time to embark on courageous journeys of exploration. One after another, Lagrange gates were built with the efforts of the pioneers. Now the Lagrange Network has finally rebooted. The hub star system of the Antonius Consortium was opened, and channels were built to access more star systems like Troid Crystal, Node Mutual Cooperation, and Data Rescue. Beyond our intense pioneering journey, we have also celebrated a series of festivals. From the Twin Festival, which celebrates the 4-light-year voyage between the Earth and Proxima Centauri, to the Beacon Festival during the Other Side project, where countless beacons lit up the universe, to Earth Day, when warp bells echo throughout the network. Each of these festivals demonstrates the glorious treasures and humanistic heritage of the Lagrange Network. The emergent Lagrange nodes have brought the pioneers to the attention of more galactic factions. Among them, the Antonius Consortium, the Hayridden Clan, and Jupiter Industries have sent their own invitations and calls to the pioneers. The Individual Rating Agreement, the Prospector Agreement, and the Neutrals Agreement are therefore open to the pioneers. Each pioneer can now meet more opportunities and challenges with more diverse identities. As the exploration moves along, in the face of more dangers and challenges, the Earth Proxima Economic Circle and major galactic factions have opened up more blueprints and tech licenses. The introduction of auxiliary ships will help the pioneers cope with more complex situations and more dangerous explorations. To appreciate all the pioneers for your efforts in reconnecting the Lagrange Network during the reboot era, Jupiter Industries has prepared a second gift. And now we're about to arrive in the city of Antontis, the main venue of the Dawn Celebration. Following the camera, let's enter the pearl of this garden star system, the famous financial center of the Lagrange Network.
You have entered the port, the city of Antontis. Welcome to the Dawn Celebration.
First of all, the Explorer Cooperation Support Department of the Antonius Consortium will announce a series of Dawn data behind the achievements made by pioneers since the signing of the Dawn Accord. Since the signing of the Dawn Accord, pioneers have accumulated 9,229,744,823 prosperity points, a figure that represents the tireless efforts of pioneers in building the network. A total of 224,429,897 interstellar missions were completed, a figure that represents the pioneers' continuous drive for interstellar explorations. A total of 917,340,158 weapon techs were consumed, representing the intensive preparations for interstellar battles. A total of 415,149,011 ships were destroyed, a symbol of the pioneers' challenging spirit in star system explorations. A total of 52,462,203,952 units of Troid crystals were collected, representing the close cooperation of pioneers in the exploitation of resources. A total of 783,298 units of experimental data were rescued, a figure that represents the courage of pioneers in the face of danger. A total of 932 Lagrange gates have been built, a number that represents the strong determination of pioneers to revive the Lagrange network. It all comes from the courage to explore the unknown, a spirit that is rooted in our human hearts. So let's celebrate each other and cheer for all of us, to the pioneers!
4.6 billion years, planet Earth never once tried leaving the sun's orbit, while humanity never ceased to challenge our limits, to go higher, farther, faster, and deeper into the unknown. Pessimists will always warn the aspired to never take the road less traveled. For the road is treacherous and failures await. And we should be thinking, what confines us is more than just gravity, yet we will always respond that the only thing that confines us is our own imagination. We must search for a path untraveled. We must try, even if it ends in failure. We must explore for the sake of exploration.
New operation created.
Our brave pioneers. The gate to the unknown has been opened. And your journey begins here.
Welcome back, Commander.
To this day, there are still legends of pioneers in the Lagrange network, and now we will invite them to the celebration. In addition to those that are here with us, we also have pioneers from different regions joining via video. As well-known creators in the Lagrange network, the wonderful content they produced has accompanied countless pioneers around the world through one journey after another, turning the minute details of the exploration journeys into beautiful and everlasting memories. Now, here at the round table, let's recall some legendary stories of the Lagrange network.
Let's greet each other.
大家好，我是 Wayne， 是非常资深的战争策略游戏爱好者。
大家好，我是江南啊，木星出版社的社长，是一名爱好科幻游戏的电气工程师。
Hey up lads and lasses, and I'm Damfire, and I hope to see you in-game.
Hello Commanders, I'm Happy and I'm doing YouTube videos for Skyfi mobile games since late 2020s.
Hello everyone. I would like to ask all of you what you think about Infinite Lagrange after playing the game, as well as your views and opinions on some updated content.
我对目前新版本的更新主要是同模系统的升级啊。我认为网易是大胆的对这个 SLG 类型游戏做出了一些改进。主要是为了改进它这一类游戏经常会有这种只谈判不打架的问题。越是到后期，越多玩家都说没有以前这种玩战争策略游戏的激情了。随着拉格朗日这款游戏的新预服、随机配对模式和游戏本身比较高的人气，这样会有一个类似于电竞的生态，应该是能很大程度上解决这种问题。至少我们也看到网易解决这种问题的决心。同时，拉格朗日最近还进行了一波比较大的画质更新， 之前其实拉格朗日的画质在同类的手游里面就已经算是比较好的了，但是它还是就是继续提高画质，也是可以看到网易官方对这个游戏还是在持续的进行投入。
我个人认为啊，星系协议算是这个游戏做的最好的系统了，因为在这个游戏里面是各种各样的星系协议，我觉得是这个游戏最核心的玩法之一啊。首先我们说看一下节点恢复协议啊，节点恢复协议是比较说注重于跟盟友之间的一个并肩作战、攻城略地，然后提升自己同盟的一个占有率，然后去推进星系的星门的一个建造。而相比于节点恢复协议来说，我们星系互助协议呢是会更加有趣一些。我记得当时啊，我们星系互助协议刚出来的时候，大家知道星系互助协议能够加入 NPC 势力的时候，都是非常高兴的，因为谁没有说去刚玩这个游戏没有被海盗追着锤过呢？所以大家觉得星系互助协议能够加入海盗之后，大家都非常的兴奋，想要去玩这个协议。而且星系互助协议出来之后，也改变了游戏的一个玩家的一个对战的一个生态吧。就是原本呢是玩家更多是我们玩家跟一个 NPC 势力的一个对战，但是星系互助协议出来之后呢，更多的是我们玩家慢慢的去开始变成原来开拓者势力的玩家去跟加入了 NPC 势力的玩家的一个竞争跟对战，算是改变了一下这个游戏的一个战斗格局。然后是我们的特洛伊协议跟一个数据抢救协议。特洛伊协议大家都知道啊，是一个比较偏向于种田的一个协议。虽然说它比较种田，但是它的一个竞争激烈程度还是有的。就我们在占领一些特洛伊晶体矿还有城市的时候，我们还是会有比较多的一个竞争。然后是我们数据抢救协议的一个数据探索玩法，太阳风暴的一个玩法。所以我个人认为啊，这个游戏各种各样的一个星系协议是它最核心的一个玩法之一啊。
So I enjoy the game as a whole, especially the graphics, even more so after the graphics update that I just hit, because things just look super pretty now. As for game content, I enjoy a lot of the server types. The one I feel needs a bit of work is the data rescue agreement. I mean, I love the sun blowing up and, shooting out radiation and all that good stuff, but and because of that, it brings, a nice level of tactics to the game.
We saw a lot of new content going live in the last few months, and I was very hyped about the new org system. But adding that system into the game opens some new options. Like smaller alliances that previously always had to merge together to be able to be a big alliance, they now can use the org system. Also, introducing the org talents is adding some additional strategic options for us, and I'm very excited to see how that new system will be used and developed over the next few months. I'm expecting that it will solve quite a few problems we had previously with a lack of having a real friend and foe mechanic in the game. Like trying to attack another alliance with a friendly alliance was always very difficult because you had to assign different locations for each alliance, else you would attack your friends as easy as your enemy, because we could not differentiate between enemies and friends if they were not in the same union with us.
我以前玩过的一些 SLG 游类一些 SLG 类的一些游戏其实我们之前玩的这些 SLG 类游戏的一些社交系统更倾向于说以大型的一个同盟组织为主，而在这些大型同盟组织的内部呢，又是以氪老为主，因为氪度不够的一些平民玩家，他们其实比较难以参与到在同盟的一个高层的战略跟战术的制定上面。但是拉格朗日它就不太一样，就它的一个同盟组织相较于这些 SLG 之前老一类的 SLG 来说是比较好的一点，是它的同盟分配是比较合理的。工会、同盟跟家族三个类型的一个分配模式呢是 更注重玩家一个团队的意识和凝聚力。即使说你是一个比较低氪的玩家，你也能够凭借着你的一些战术知识，还有你的头脑，以及你对游戏的一些研究，去把这个游戏参与到你的同盟高层的一个战术战略的制定当中。所以说我们是现在拉格朗日这样一个组织形式是比较好的。
所以我也是认为拉格朗日的目前的这种组织形式，普通玩家和一些重氪金的玩家，他们之间是形成一个更良好的友好生态。就是说，有时候他两种玩家其实是需要互相配合的。普通的这个玩家用快速的打法的话，它机动性会更灵活，而且前期的话成型会更快。如果说我们完全重氪玩家脱离普通玩家的保护的话，其实他也面对别人的这个快攻或者是包夹，其实也是很难获胜的。这是其实是一种更类似于职业分工的这么一个组合，而不像那个之前的策略游戏，可能不太能把这种真正的策略性体现出来，更多的还是就是说碰一下就结束，就是说还是以一个数值对撞为主。这个是拉格朗日，它更好的把人和人之间的这种合作关系，还有战争策略的策略性都给安排进了游戏里面。这个我认为是它做得比较好的一点。
It seems that everyone has their own understanding of the game and their own opinions. Lagrange is precisely a game in which the free exploration and diversity allow each player to have their own feelings about things. If you were to describe Lagrange with one word, what word would you choose?
So I know you've said one word here, but this is technically two words, but I like to describe Infinite Lagrange as a space opera. Because you get this feeling of a vast collection of Lagrange gates all over the galaxies, you duck and diving in between them, then the lore into the corporation talking about the wars and the reasons of the ships of certain types exist solely for defeating certain enemies, and it just adds to this space opera of intertwining stories within the lore. Then we get to the fleets. You got everything from small squads of fighters to the huge behemoth carriers, just adding to this aspect of how huge some of the ships can get, and the feeling of actually strategically deploying valuable assets to the fighting in the wars. And then we get to, community of unions and alliances, the stories each one tells, from the Black Ops tactical attacks to the full-scale frontal wars, the diplomacy, the treachery. So yeah, I think space opera suits the description of Infinite Lagrange from my eyes anyway.
我想的最主要的是公平或者说平衡性。因为拉格朗日这款游戏，正如我刚才所说，它把氪金玩家和普通玩家他们更友好的衔接在一起，而不是说让这个氪金玩家去欺负这个普通玩家。它更强调大家的协同作战，普通玩家可以设计，就是说，一些配合战术来实现我们的战争策略的目的，并且它使用的是一个全局的策略值的设计。而不是说单队的策略值，这样的话，对于每一个玩家，他们的行动力都是一样的，并不能说是氪金的比较多的玩家，他就有更多的行动能力，比如说他可以组建更多的队伍来实现一个人可以当好几个人的作用。其实，在拉格朗日中的话，每个玩家的作用都是很大的，会有这么一个大家更为平衡的生态。
如果是我的话，我认为对这个游戏的一个定义词会是策略。也就是说，拉格朗日它本身有着一个非常强的一个策略性。比如说，我们最基础的这个游戏，我们在舰船的一个配对选择和加点上面，我们是要选择怎么样的一个配对，怎么样一个加点，我们才能够让我们舰队打出最高的一个输出。要怎么去配，怎么才能够去配出一个最能扛伤的一个队伍，这都是需要我们的一些策略。然后还有以及我们战帅首创的一个845的高速战队的一些打法等等，这些都是我们基础舰队配对上面的一个策略。除了我们最基础的一个舰船配对上面的一个策略外，我们还有在工程，还有我们在平时同盟跟同盟之间的一个对战的时候，我们 产生的各种各样的玩家，他们思想碰撞出来的一些策略也是非常多的。所以我认为是我的定义词会是一个策略。
Speaking of which, this is what I love about Infinite Lagrange, the very deep strategy. It is not ships alone. When I explain the game mechanics to new players, it is always impressive to them how deep the strategic choices go. We have limited quantities of a single ship type. We have fleet limitations by command points, ship skills via tech points, and all of this needs to be adjusted or selected based on the enemy fleet you will fight against. Then we have the limited action points, long flight times, and no option to change course after setting a destination. Now, not all these points must be considered good or liked by us players, but they do add a lot for the strategic part of the game. Anyhow, many times I wish that flight times would be faster or the pathfinding would be better, and I know I'm not alone with this.
At this point in time, I must say that the story is actually a very important part of Infinite Lagrange, as this is a mobile game with an original universe. What are your feelings or opinions on this original universe?
故事我就认为是好看的，因为我收集了很多关于这个游戏世界观的一些故事，包括他们官方会发的一些有声书啊，我也有一直在看，还有关注的一些有在做这个游戏的世界观解读的一些 UP， 所以我是认为这个游戏现在虽然看着世界观有点零碎，但它是非常宏大的一个世界观。
So yeah, I agree with this statement. The game's worldview design is like very large because the stage is in like the vast universe. The story starts thousands of years ago when mankind is just like setting off from Earth to explore space, and then you've got like this quite a long span of time, and it's just filled with exciting stories, and these stories have to be acquired through different forms to the players, such as like the in-game exploration rewards, and like even like when you're collecting the ship's description giving lore and why it was constructed. Often these bits of lore are sort of like in pieces, and you know it's like a puzzle that you slowly unravel the lore and stories. Eventually, you know, this whole worldview story just gets more and more depth added to it. So like I'm very, well, personally pretty curious about like the past empires, the Great War, the Dark Ages, and so on, that you can find a little bit of info out about. And yeah, if you spend, you know, time reading some of the lore, it's actually quite addictive world that has been created. So yeah, hats off to the dev team on that one.
I also agree that good storytelling is undoubtedly important for mobile games. Any mobile game, or any game for that matter, needs to say something. I love how Lagrange always tries to engage us players to participate in the story, and it is doing so with videos, with text, and even with audio files during certain events. At the same time, it lets you still skip all of this if you don't feel like joining or reading these things. In the course of the actual game, we are getting introduced to the events in the universe, the companies that are the major players, and as well as the different stories in form of agreements that we can choose each season.
我还以为只有我这种比较喜欢看故事的人才会喜欢这个游戏的世界观，但是没有想到大家都很喜欢。说实话，这拉格朗日这个游戏在我们玩过的这么多 SLG 游戏里面呢，不管是它的剧情、画质，还是它的一个模型玩法，其实都算是比较优秀的那一档。而且它在一个氪金上面的平衡性做的也是，比如像刚刚张帅说的一样，是比较平衡的，就是。小氪玩家的话，即使是每一个赛季去买一个未央理财计划，或者说其他的一个基金之类的，也是可以白嫖，或者说小氪就能够玩得还算舒服，就在6个赛季之后也能够成为同盟里的一个中间玩家这样子，这也是我认为它比较好的一个地方。
We are very grateful to our 4 guests for participating in our interview, and hope that all explorers will continue to support us and keep us company as we improve. You are why this vast galaxy is so beautiful and colorful. Next, we will move to a new game session. Guests, please introduce yourself.
So we have a little battle for you now, and it's me and Happy, one of our first times collabing together, and yeah, hopefully more of those in the future, because it was quite a bit of fun. The battle has some rules, so it's one fleet each, no two fleets or anything like that, one-on-one. There is no reinforcements, a 300 CP cap, and frigates and destroyers are all you're allowed to use. Oh, and aircraft. You can use aircraft though, so corvettes, fighters, bombers. And yeah, let's see how the battle goes.
我在 B 站看猎人的视频很久了，今天终于算是有机会跟猎人打一场了，非常的开心啊！
也是非常感谢木星社的朋友们是比较慷慨的借出了4个满客账号，所以说各种配置我们都是可以组建出来。为了节约大家的时间，我们已经提前配好了舰船，现在就出发对战。在等待的时间，我们给大家讲解一下配件思路。
OK， 刚才我的一个配件思路是选用了一个斗牛加喜人星这样一个双前排的一个配件思路啊，没有采取现在比较主流的一个飞机海啊。虽然说现在是大家都小船队都比较习惯性的用飞机海，不过呢，我是想要做一下尝试啊，所以这一局我是选用了一个双前排的一个配件思路。我前排是斗牛加上喜人星重炮加卡利莱恩。就是喜人星重炮加卡利莱恩2个高闪避的船，然后斗牛作为一个前排输出，然后后排的话，我选用了古神星载机跟卫士2栖突击舰去作为一个载机去搭载我的蜂巢跟新大地。之所以说是选择新大地呢，是因为古神星我本来是想要用维 B 的，不过维 B 是一个重型飞机古神星没有办法载，所以我是选了次选的一个新大地吧。然后第一局的话，我的制空能力可能是比较弱的，不过我的前排和扛伤的能力会比较强一点。我这一次的舰队这就是我刚才的一个配件思路了。
因为第一轮的话，我们选用的是只有50点技能点的小船来 PK，所以说这个时候我就考虑的是，一般来说我们大部分85会选择这个双前排的阵容来平均掉血。我这局就是使用了一个闪避的前排加上高闪避的中排，直接放弃掉直射火力，因为直射火力可能会让对方前排的单位就是平均分摊伤害，基本上就不会减员。我选择的是一个全部是通过取射和自空的方式，然后组成的第一个是由卡利莱恩特种型组成的前排和只有隐身型的雷里来组成的中排，这样我即使前排被打穿了以后，还有高闪避的中排继续去阻挡对方的直射火力。这样如果对方带了大量前排的话，可能他在制空方面根本就是完全打不过我这边的。目前我这局是这样考量的。制空方面的话，我大量的选用了711的载机型。这个711载机型主要是考虑到我们现在只有50点点数，711载机型在这个低技能点的情况下，能对舰载机提供更好的支持。这就是我这一局的配对思路，并且是把对空的这个小米和T800都进行了一个拉满，同时还尽量多带了一些其他护航艇去帮 T800分摊这个对空的受到的伤害。这就是我第一局的配件思路。现在2支舰队碰在一起了。我们请海外的 Denver 来解说一下战斗实况。
So yeah, it's a very typical swarm fleet. End of the day, this is these type of fleet really hurt. There is no counter to air, so this is sort of where we're at. You'll just see this over and over. It's duplicated on the Chinese servers, as we can see here. It's over on the Western servers as well. So yeah, pretty standard fleet. Getting some nice looks at the visuals here. I believe this is on the highest graphic setting. Definitely looking at the AC721 that's just off to the left. You can definitely see the upgraded aesthetics there, which is pretty shiny, pretty nice.
So overall, this is not a very aircraft heavy fleet. It's a frontline heavy fleet. We do have the Radiat Stealth. We do have the RSB, which is high evade for a destroyer. We do have the Taurus, which is a great DPS, but as you know from my tier video, in the front line. I'm not a big fan having it there because it is usually dying fast. And this is something we will see here. We can see how all the enemy aircrafts are now swarming out here. And you can see the HP from our Tauruses are falling pretty quick.
They're not going to be able to deal with it, so the swarm fleet's just hands down going to absolutely shred. We can see here, okay, some of these Carillion have taken a bit of damage. They're going to retreat into the mid-row where the Reliat is, and they're also, you know, the stealth Reliat, so they're going to be able to tank for them as well. But this is very much direct fire fleet that he's facing, so, you know, it's a hands down, like, no contest here. We can see he's 89% to 68%. It's a little bit unfortunate, but that's what the game is at the current moment. So yeah, there you go. All that guy's aircraft are gone. They're dead. They've been killed. There is some healing going on in the other fleet. These fleets look around 300 CP. They don't look 400 to me. There's just not quite enough there. I could be wrong on that though, but you can see here the healing's just not doing enough. I didn't see which healing ship he's using anyway. I'd suspect Ceres or Noma. Either way, not enough to keep those special Carillion alive against, you know, we got Void Elfins in there as well, which will be targeting those frigates now quite nicely. Cellular defenders do quite well against special Carillion.
The areas are mostly down, as we can see here. We lost all our aircrafts. That was to be expected. If you fight an enemy fleet heavy in aircrafts, having T-800s, having Nebula Chasers, or Mistrals in special. The enemy fleet has Mistrals and T-800s. They will just go through our little aircrafts very, very quickly. We don't have anything that is strong in anti-aircraft. The cellular defender can do some damage, but definitely not enough to keep up with the T-800 and the Mistrals, which are both top tier anti-aircraft ships. And that opens the way, as we can see here, for all the other enemy aircrafts to just take us out. I'm looking forward to see the battle report of this. I do expect to see really high damage for the T-800s, the enemy cellular defenders, because as soon as our aircrafts are down, they will do a ton of damage.
So yeah, 85%. I don't think he even lost a ship. He may have lost a couple of his special Carillion off his front line. I wonder if this is the devs or if they've asked a player to record this from. That'd be interesting to find out. So that's it. GG.
将来你刚才这个阵容配得不错啊。
战帅，你刚才的配对也还可以啊，不过比较可惜的是，我们刚才都没有配到那个资源键在我们配对里面，也就是我们现在面前摆着的这个模型的这个资源键。
这个资源键的模型是 B 站的著名手工 UP 主黑猫重工手工打造的，用的是羊蝎子还有 3D 打印的素材，据说是做了1个月。
是的，我在后台的时候就有看到这个模型，我不知道战帅你有没有看到啊？我当时看到的时候就觉得它挺帅的，就想带回家。不过呢，它应该是比较贵重吧，1个月的时间打造，所以呢可能是没有办法带回家了。不过呢，在这个模型两边的这个周边啊，我们还是有希望带回家的。礼盒里有带有无尽的拉格朗日 logo 的一个运动水壶、笔记本以及代表势力的一些势力徽章啊。我个人是比较喜欢它这个礼盒里的运动水壶跟那个势力徽章的，因为看起来是很好、很高大上，比较好看。
单品的周边分别有 T 恤、帽子、钥匙扣，听说还有更多的单品周边在制作中，近期就会和大家见面。
We would also like to thank all the explorers who helped us in the video recording and their story sharing. These stories will live forever in the Lagrange Network. And for the later generations, they will be a vivid and interesting legend of the network. We believe that in the future, the Lagrange Network will be better and more glorious, attracting more pioneers to the deeper depths of the starry sky.
For the future of the Lagrange Network, Antonio's consortium, the host, has sent a third gift. In the face of the uncertain galactic explorations ahead of us, Multilateral cooperation and diversification have become the trend of human space exploration. Lagrange of diversity is a theme of this new era. More diverse identities, richer organizational structures, more challenging agreements, and more diverse trends of thoughts and changes are looming in the Lagrange network. Let's embrace the new era of Lagrange of diversity. Next, we will introduce the new diverse content and cutting-edge technology in the Lagrange network to the pioneers. Stay tuned. First, there is a richer player structure, a massive upgrade and diversification of the Union system. In the long years of pioneering, the Lagrange network has witnessed the emergence of a variety of organizations. Some were born out of the diversity of thought, and some were designed to cope with the extremes of the universe. These diverse organizations have stirred up and generated many new forms of power in the universe. For the first time, we have made public to all pioneers the three organizational structures of clan, guild, and union. At the same time, we also introduced the advanced structure system of community. The clan, guild, and union can each take the lead in forming a consortium, legion, and alliance that can incorporate multiple organizations and participate in the star system development rating in the form of a multi-organizational coalition. In the future, the Lagrange network will also offer more different organizational structures and functions under the theme of diversity, so that all pioneers can cooperate more closely and meet new challenges. We will also bring the gameplay of a new star system and agreement, Angulum Star System and Exploration Agreement. Angulum Star System is a vast triangular cluster surrounded by 3 stars. It has witnessed the once prosperous Sankrum-Chu Imperium route. There were endless commercial fleets and majestic space cities kept rising from the ground. Nowadays, it has become a chaotic and dangerous area packed with disordered space warping parameters. High-speed stars and the ruins of the Empire are floating everywhere, and an exploration agreement issued by the Noma Shipping Group will attract great attention. Here, the legacy of the Sankrum-Chu Imperium, the mystery of the Angulum Cluster, and the story behind Noma Group's exploration agreement are all about to be staged in this beautiful and strange star cluster. There are many precious heritage resources distributed in the angular star system, most of which can be traced back to the period of the Sankrum-Chu Imperium, including a large number of relics, literary works, records of important events, and advanced scientific and technological materials. We will introduce the dynamic map in the angular star system. The space warping parameters in this triangular region are disordered. The high-speed stars, resources, relics, etc. in the star system will always be in a floating and moving state, and fleets will not be able to enter the warp drive state, which will bring new adventures. Players need to team up to enter the angular star system and prepare in the exploration camp established by Noma Shipping. At the same time, each player team will have access to a depot shared by all members for ship production and supply. We have also introduced the historic Lagrange legacy. Starting from the ancient Earth Day era, the Lagrange network has passed through tens of thousands of years. Countless generations have made lifelong efforts for astronautics and interstellar exploration, leaving a treasured legacy of military tech and literary works for future generations. This legacy is a valuable asset in the Lagrange network, and a great amount of legacy is laid out in the network, documenting the pioneering pursuit and exploration of more distant star systems by generations. Some of this legacy document scientific exploration and breakthroughs. Some bear the fearlessness and challenge of adventures. Some bear in mind the accumulation and breakthrough of technology, and others contain our ambition and vision of pioneering. In order for the tangible and intangible heritage to continue to be created and passed down in the star system, the Lagrange Legacy Bureau will open up legacy collection and identification to the pioneers. The items collected by the pioneers in the star system can be handed over to the Lagrange Legacy Bureau for appraisal and evaluation. The Lagrange Legacy Bureau looks forward to all pioneers gathering more legacy items from the star system. exploring and sharing the glittering history of Lagrange so that the past can look to the future and history can continue. We will introduce more strategic changes, long-range strike tech. The continuous innovation in research and armaments is also one of the main topics in the Lagrange Network. The Arbiter Committee has been working closely with major galactic factions, actively promote the opening up of more tech licenses and meet the new challenges faced by pioneers in their future journeys. The upcoming long-range strike tech is one of the technologies that the Arbiter Committee and the forces of major systems are about to open up for licensing. Fleets with aircraft technology will be able to release the aircraft and the escort corvette to strike the enemy fleets remotely while staying away from the battlefield. This new armament technology will help pioneers apply more sophisticated tactical designs and strategic planning while leveraging the different capabilities of aircraft and escort corvettes. This technology license agreement will soon receive its approval. Wait and see, pioneers. In the new year, we will focus on planets, launching more diverse identity agreements, the Star Lander Agreement. In the long history of human exploration, the construction and development of planets is a topic that can never be avoided. From the age of digging caves on planets to the construction of the base on Mars, humans have developed one planet after another with high-intensity materials and rare elements as a foundation of industrial architecture. In this process, integrated planetary mining platforms allowed us to maximize the development and utilization of planetary resources. The first group of people to complete the construction of the planetary mining platforms are referred to by future generations as the Starlanders. Can this ancient profession re-enter the stage of history? In the coming year, the Lagrange Network will welcome more new identity agreements. Pioneers can continue to explore their positions and roles in interstellar explorations. Please stay tuned. In this new era of diversity, both the Twin Festival and the Beacon Festival will have new themes and stories. During the Twin Festival, more touching stories originating from the connection of stargates will be shared with the pioneers, giving the festival a warm atmosphere that reaches every corner of the universe. The Beacon Festival will be a time for pioneers to look back and celebrate the achievements over the past year of exploration across the star systems. To wish the Lagrange Network a diverse future, please check out the fourth gift from Noma Shipping Group. Thank you to all the pioneers for your exploration and dedication to the Lagrange Network reboot. The increasing prosperous Lagrange Network will usher in a more diverse story and colorful future. The voice of Earth, blooming in the flowers of the universe. We look forward to the future of the more diverse Lagrange Network and to witness more legendary exploration stories of the pioneers from their new journeys. The era of the diversified Lagrange has begun. With the theme music of the celebration, please accept our final gift. Please sail with it and continue to explore the new chapters of the Lagrange Network in this new era.